What's up, guys? We're going to do something fun today, and we're going to discuss the Keto, that's upside down. The Keto Mojo blood ketone and blood glucose meter. Now, let's start off by saying, this is just for fun, not a medical doctor, not a trained professional, nothing. This was just for fun, and this is based off of my own readings and my own research. So, I guess it would help if I had the meter. Okay, so about 3 weeks ago, I purchased with my own money the Keto Mojo blood ketone meter. Now, I'm going to bring this chair over here so I can take it for you. We'll do a quick reading. And don't forget, clean hands. I got alcohol in a swab here. Or Q-tip, I mean, not a Q-tip. Cotton ball, that's the word I'm looking for. We're going to clean my finger. You want to test the same time every day. So let's do this finger. So let that air dry for a minute. You're going to take your glucose strips and you're going to do that first. And don't touch the part that touches, like that reads, the meter reads. So at the top here, don't touch that where the actual, oh gosh, it's never going to focus. It's, don't touch that part because it'll throw off your reading. So you're going to put your little strip in, and now you're going to take your thingamabobber, lancet thing, and do the side of your finger. I've learned, thank you guys. Ooh, still hate it after all these ones. And you're going to want to swipe that first bit of blood off first, and then take that reading. And try to do this on camera. Alright, my glucose is 75. There you go, 75. So because I have enough blood here on my finger, we're going to go ahead and do the ketone, the blue one, next. So put a strip up in there. Now mind you, I am fasting. Alright, here we go. Whew. It's hard to do that on camera. So my ketones are 1.0. There we go, 1.0. That's actually kind of low. Wonder what happened there. But anyway, so that's how you do it. It's really easy. It doesn't hurt. Let me clean up my little mess here for you guys. So my glucose was 79, I think I said. I already forgot. And my ketones were 1.0. So let's talk about what the Keto Mojo does. I found this stuff so interesting. I have a little paper with my findings. Okay, so, excuse me. I've been taking my glucose and ketone readings for the past 21 days. I have 40 readings, and to average that out, my average glucose reading was 88. My average ketone reading was 1.32, and my average GKI, which is the glucose ketone index, was 4.4, or a moderate level of ketosis. Now, let's back up and talk about when to test and all that jazz. Ugh. Yes, I can cross my legs now. So anyways, so the main points that you want to take from this video will be, I summarized what I found and then what I did. So the first thing is, you want a glucose reading of less than 100. That's like thumbs up. I personally wanted mine to be under 90. That was kind of a goal. And most of the time I am. First of the morning readings are normally higher. Glucose readings are higher. So just keep that in mind. Don't panic. I remember the first time I took my morning reading, which was basically like I get up, get the kids ready for school, get myself dressed, out the door, drop the kids off, and I'm back. And I'm taking on my day around 9 o'clock. 8 to 9 o'clock. So I would test the same time every day. And I found that my readings in the morning were in the 80s, like 88, 86, 89. And I'm just like, you know, a few 92s. But after looking and researching, I found it's completely normal to have a higher glucose reading in the morning. What we're looking for is a trend of it going down as the day goes along. So, and that's exactly what I found. So I was like, whew, you know, like I got nervous there for a second. I've never been a diabetic, you know, not that my numbers were even close to being like that, but I still was shocked to see a 92, you know, like why is it in the 90s? But then I'm like, okay, under 100 is where we're trying to be. But anyways, so you want to measure or take your Keto Mojo, and bring it with you if you go somewhere. So this way you take it at the same time. It's really hard to draw conclusions or, you know, analysis if you're all over the place and you're not being consistent. So if you want accurate readings at accurate times, you've got to have some sort of like pattern that you're doing. So measure it the first time the same time every day, and then you want like an early morning or afternoon reading, you know, and then maybe another one if you're curious. I was doing 2 to 3 a day. I typically would get that first in the morning reading. I would do 11 or 12 depending on if I went to the gym. If I went to the gym, I would measure at 12. If I didn't, I would go 11. So, and then I made a notation of, you know, the time and all that stuff. And then I also, after the gym and after I had lunch, I'd take it again. Or if there was any random things that were interesting, I also took it. So I tried to form a pattern and I was trying to stay consistent so I could draw some type of reasoning after all of this. So the next thing is, to be considered like the sweet spot of ketosis is 1.5 for your ketones. So that's like the sweet spot, but to be considered in ketosis is anything above 0.5. So with the goal being at least 1.5. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then also, let me make sure I'm getting in all my points here. I did notice that the weeks that I had higher weight loss was the weeks that I had more therapeutic levels of ketosis. So what does that mean? So you have your blood glucose and you have your blood ketones levels. There's a formula called the GKI, or the glucose ketone index, that takes into account more than just those two numbers. This way you kind of get a better understanding of what level of ketosis you are in. So less than 1 is like the highest. You'll never even reach that one. So we're going to call that, it's the highest therapeutic grade. I would say it's almost impossible to get there. And you know, but most people are going to be at 1 to 3, which is the therapeutic level of ketosis. That means you are, maybe you have cancer and you're trying to treat it that way, or you have a hormone issue or autoimmune disease or something. That's the number or the range you want to be. And then there's 3 to 6, which is like a moderate level. People with type 2 diabetes should stay in this level. And then there's, 6 to 9, and that's low level of ketosis. And then above 9, you're not in ketosis. So my average after the 21 days was 4.4. Now that's subjective because, like I said, if you exercise or you have stress, those will impact your readings. So I would take my levels, I should have separated this out to have the gym days and the non-gym days, and these numbers probably would be different. My glucose always comes down after the gym. My glucose always comes down for my second reading of the day. And my ketone level always goes up. So it starts off at about 1.2 or something in the morning, and by the afternoon it's over 2. But if I go to the gym, I'm fasting when I'm doing my workout, and I can take it and it'd be like 2.2, and when I come home and test it right after the gym, I could be 0.4 in an hour. And that means I used up all of my available ketones. That doesn't mean I'm actually out of ketosis. That just means I literally just went and worked out, and all it would take is a meal and I'm back into ketosis. So that's interesting to note, but also affects my numbers. That's why my average ketone level is 1.32. That's because it factors in all of my gym days as well. So I probably should have pulled that apart and had a better, or two different averages. An average for gym day, an average for non-gym day. But what I'm trying to say is that's different than when you go and have, say you have your ketones are 2 and you go have a cheat meal and now you're down to 0.4. That's completely different than exercising, because one's using up your available ketones. The other one, the insulin spikes and all the other stuff that goes on when you have a cheat meal, that means you're now going to have to get back into ketosis. You're going to have maybe a carb flu, and it's not going to just be one meal that gets you back in, so they're very different. So basically what I'm trying to say is, if you work out and have low ketone readings after, no big deal. Eat something and check it again in a couple hours. And they'll be really high again. But if you are looking to see what foods impact your readings, this is a great way to do it. I found that if I limited cheese, or I should say dairy minus the fat type dairy, like not the creams. I didn't limit creams or butters. I did limit cheese. And then I limited my sweeteners. Those days I had I have higher levels of ketones, lower levels of glucose, and I was in a more therapeutic grade of ketosis. On the days that I had higher carbs or higher protein, I was down to the moderate level of ketosis, if not low. I had a couple low days, and that's because I had one meal with a ton of protein, and like too much protein turns into glucose, and not a bad thing. It's not, once in a while it's okay, that's what I'm trying to say. But I also wanted to say, the weeks that I did have a more therapeutic level of my GKI, glucose ketone index, I had higher weight loss. On the weeks that I had a moderate or low level of ketosis, I either had no weight loss or maybe a pound. So there is some method or some thought process around these numbers to pay attention to for faster or higher weight loss. So, and then the most interesting thing about this whole experience in my 21 days of taking my ketones and glucose was, I see this said all the time, but I didn't really believe it. You can raise your glucose level without even eating a single thing, just by being stressed out. I had a couple really stressful days in the past 3 weeks, and like ridiculously stressed out, just type of days. And I had way higher glucose readings those days. And I was eating the same foods, doing the same everything. Everything was the same, but I had like a 94 in my glucose reading one day, which is high for me because I'm usually 70s to 80s. So to be in the 90s, something's up, And I looked through my notes because I made a spreadsheet with everything, and I would put, time of day, what I ate, my thoughts on the day, and I could draw this way. I could draw this or make this video for you. And those days I was all stressed. So that means keep your stress down. So it was something I needed to see. And I know like Thomas DeLauer and Dr. Berg, they both stress that having high levels of stress and cortisol does increase your glucose. So it was true. So, but I'm also trying to say is use the Keto Mojo as a tool to just gauge your progress. It's more accurate than using those urine test strips, or the blow test, that breath meter, whatever they call it. This was a much better or more accurate level. I mean, there's still variables with this because, exercise, stress, that kind of stuff, unmeasurables. But it's much more accurate to draw a conclusion based off using your blood versus the the urine test strips or that breath meter. So don't even bother with that breath meter or those urine strips. You're wasting your money. Save up and buy a ketone. This was like $50, something like that. I don't know. But if you do want to buy yours, I don't remember what I paid for it, honestly. I do have a 15% off coupon code down below. So use that link and you can order a Keto Mojo. I picked the Keto Mojo because it did both the ketones and the glucose, because I want to see both. If I'm going to prick my finger and go through that little bit of pain, I'm going to make it worth it. So I'm doing both. So that's why I wanted a meter that could do both. And I like the refills for the little test strips. They're cheaper than when I was pricing them all out as of like 21 days ago. I don't know. Something could be on sale, and but you know what I mean. At the time, I thought that was the most affordable option for me. So, and it had good reviews. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was interesting. My next video is going to be how to test the the keto approved sweeteners, and how to make that like a fair or easy way to track, because there's a lot of variables that go in, and so I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to test that. I may do a whole week of sweeteners and a test, and a whole week of no sweeteners and a test, and see what it does to my ketone and glucose numbers. So I'm going to be elaborating on this video, and also, you know, in about 2 months I'll do another update of what else I found in my results, because this is interesting to me. It's empowering to make better choices. I did notice that if the more fat adapted you are, the more lenient you have if you have a slip up. So there was one day where I wanted to test this, so I was good all week, and then that Friday night we went out for a burger and french fries. And I had french fries with my burger. I still had no bun on my burger, but I did have the french fries. And I noticed the next day I was expecting to have wicked high glucose numbers, really low ketones, and it was not the case. It was just like a normal day. So being fat adapted does give you a little bit of leeway, and it doesn't kick you out of ketosis as quickly, because I've been keto for 8 months now. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, compared to a lot of people, that's not a long time, but 8 months of being consistently keto did make a difference. So yeah, so I mean, that's different than somebody who is barely fat adapted and has a cheat meal or a slip up. Big difference. So you will definitely go through in and out of ketosis, carb flu, all that stuff. So it's not worth it in your case. But it's good to see how everything works and impacts your numbers. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, give me a huge thumbs up, and I'll see you at the next update. I'm Jess, and you're watching Keto Rewind.